I hear a lot of different things, and I've heard a lot of different charges against me. And my understanding is that now the secret trial has to do with conspiracy to overthrow the government. That's what they want to charge me with because I allege that the government was overthrown. I allege Donald Trump was getting blackmailed by members of the intelligence community and the military in order to control his decision making. And by doing that, according to what I'm hearing in my head now, is I was charged with conspiracy to overthrow the government, but they wouldn't tell me that because they have a secret trial and they want to arrest me for something other than conspiracy to overthrow the government. But the conspiracy to overthrow the government charges like a very, very long time in prison. Like, because they don't want to tell the public that I was charged with conspiracy to overthrow the government. I don't know. Like, my opinion is that if you have a secret trial saying that someone conspired to overthrow the government, you might overthrow the government because you're overthrowing the Constitution by having a secret trial. And that's the thing. Like, have I thought the American government was overthrown for a long time? I don't know if we ever had a real constitutional government. Like, anytime you've got a bunch of like federal agents that are targeting like elementary school children and trying to scare them and hacking their computers and like putting like porn, like horse porn on their computer, like you got a problem with the Constitution. Like, clearly these people do not have a right to privacy. But I think that what happened is that everyone decided that no one has a right to privacy because this technology is so scary, and that's why I'm leaving. Like, that's why I'll live on a ship because I'll have privacy in the middle of the ocean. Like, I'll have privacy by not interacting with people. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, I can't have a private thought. Like, I think that everyone in the Colorado Springs government's like, clearly he's trying to overthrow the government. Clearly he is. He says that we overthrew the government. He says that the the FBI overthrew the government. He says that the Marine Corps overthrew the government. Like, clearly he tried to overthrow the government. He told everyone that the government was overthrown. And what I'll tell you is that, like, I think you guys have more concerns than the government being overthrown. I think you have to worry about Israel hacking everyone's brains, and I think you guys will never believe it because they're God's chosen people. But like, I'm in on it. Like, I think they want me to be their leader, and like, I think that like, I don't even know. I think they want me dead. I think they want me to think that I should be their leader, but they can't handle me as their leader. I think they need my brother with my money and with my family's money and me dead. And I think that's the real situation there. Okay, so is there a secret trial saying that I conspired to overthrow the government? Do I have any interest in overthrowing the government? I have an interest in making sure the Supreme Court can't have secret rulings anymore. I think that if you're the Supreme Court, your rulings are public. Always. Always. You will never, ever, ever, when I'm in charge, ever have a secret ruling ever again where you create secret laws that no one knows exist. So, do I think the Supreme Court has overthrown the Constitution? That's the thing. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like I think that they're saying that I'm overthrowing the government or I'm trying to overthrow the government because I want the Supreme Court hung. I think that it's very, very, very obvious the Supreme Court overthrew the government. And it's very obvious the government overthrew the government. And like, I think that if you're an American and you don't understand government enough to realize that the government was overthrown, like, you're a stupid person. So like, this whole like, he's trying to overthrow the government by accusing people of overthrowing the government, sounds like something that someone would say who overthrew the government. And do I think the government's overthrown? Like, I don't think you guys get it. Like, I'm leaving not because I hate the American people, but because I hate the American government. And I think it's because the Jewish people control so many people's brains. They make them vote for certain people. They want to make sure that they get their agenda across. They can't control everyone. It's that difficult, but they control them enough. And I think that they've moved enough people high enough up in the government that, like, this country, like, I think, like, you guys are all trying to figure out, like, how do we deal with this situation? You can't. Like, you don't understand. Like, you're from a country that's fucked. I believe there are good people in this country, and that's how I think I can get the fuck out. Like, I think that I'm gonna get my case taken care of, and I'm gonna be able to leave. Like I think that all these people who have been trying to kill me, they're gonna actually get theirs. Like they're gonna actually get dealt with, because like the reality is that I'm an innocent person that's been in a fucked up situation always, that has no privacy, to the point that like every moment of the day, even right now, I know my brain's getting hacked, and I know what you guys are thinking. Why don't you quit weed? It's because I have too many plants. I can't quit weed with weed plants in my house, and I do love weed, and like I love weed more than anything, and I will quit weed, and I'll have private thoughts again, and that'll probably be on my ship. So. Well, okay, so I committed conspiracy to overthrow the government, but you guys know that my brain's getting hacked, and that, like, if there's anything you know in the entire universe, is my brain's getting hacked. Because you would never have ever busted anyone for the drugs if you didn't know the brain's getting hacked. I'm just saying, brains have been hacked forever. And that's the thing about a person that doesn't think, like, do I think that, like, the government needs to be overthrown if the government won't tell the truth to the American people that their brains are getting hacked? I think that if I was an American citizen and I was someone that had nothing to do with anything, and I found out that my brain was getting hacked through marijuana, and the federal agents know it, they're all certain about it. You're talking about a million people in the government that know it. They're the ones that know it. But they have to but they won't tell them the truth to the people, because the person hacking the brains is in charge of MSNBC. And the person that is from the Biden administration, she's about to go work for that person. And the person in charge of CNN, they're hacking people's brains. And the person that's making all the media, they're hacking people's brains, and they're controlling people's brains. And so, like, I'm pretty sure the federal agents, they can't even talk publicly because the media is censoring it, because the media is the people controlling everyone. And so when you're worried about people overthrowing the government, what about people overthrowing, like, everyone's brains? Like, and that's the real situation there, is like, once you realize there's nothing you can do, these people are controlling you, and they're real people, like, you got to figure out who they are, and it's that hard to figure out who they are without being loyal to them. And the reality is, like, if you're not loyal to them and they're controlling your brain that much, you're a crazy person, because you're dead. Like, it's that easy to kill you. And I think the cops, like, don't care about killing people. Like, I think that, like, generally the people at the very top, like, it's because they don't give a fuck if someone's dead. And like and that's how they got up. It's kind of like if you're at the top of if you're the game, you're at the top because you know how to play the game to the point that, like, you handle your shit. And if you're a top drug agent, you know how to play the game to the point that you're at the top. And I'm just saying, like I think that everyone at this point is going, okay, the people we trust are the people that follow the drugs, the people that by default got put in charge by the Jewish people. I'm just saying, like, the Jewish people chose who they wanted to be the top cops. You can get certain busts for certain people and move them up. And so, like, if you don't understand that, like, the cops have been chosen, like, you guys don't get it. Like, I'm a person that's fully aware how fucked I am. Like, I'm a dead person, and, like, I don't think the American government realizes how fucked they are, how controlled their government is, how controlled, like, everything is, how controlled their economy is. And that's why it's like, well, congratulations, you can live in a country where those people control you. I'm out. I've had enough of them controlling me. Like, it has disturbed me too much. Like, I'm fucked in the head. Like, I'm a person that used to love people, and now I hate people, and I want to love people again. And so in order to love people again, I'm going to not be an American. Because I think that America is not a country for love. I believe that America is a country for greed. America is a country where you can get ahead by fucking hustling, and too many people listen to too much fucking rap music about get money, fuck bitches. And bottom line is, I'm gonna get the fuck out and fuck you bitches, because, like, there in no possible universe do I think I should stay in this country when, like, I'm terrified of it. I don't think you guys get it. Like, so when people are throwing sporting events and rigging sporting events, is that about gambling? Like, because, you know, we launder money through gambling, and as we especially do that through sporting events where we rig sporting events. Like, we own all the casinos and stuff. So when people rig sporting events, is it only about gambling? I think it's a lot of the time about driving. Like, it's about changing someone's schedule. Because, like, why did you drive? I didn't know the bowl game was going to be in Mississippi. How was I supposed to know the bowl game was going to be in Mississippi? I just drove my car. Yeah, like my understanding is that like when they rig sporting events, it's usually to just change people's schedules. They have a massive schedule for like everyone, for like the people moving the drugs. And my understanding is they're very concerned about like such low level of bust. You wouldn't believe how many people they spot, but it's because there are that many people in Israel running drugs in the United States. And I think that like that's why it's so important that Chuck Schumer's in charge. And that's why it's so important that Avril Haines is in charge. And that's why it's so important that the guy in charge of the Department of Homeland Security is Jewish. And that's why it's so important that the person in charge of the CDC is Jewish. And that's why it's important that NIST is Jewish. And that's why it's important that everyone's Jewish. Rod Rosenstein's Jewish. Everyone's Jewish. The Attorney General of Colorado, Jewish. Governor of Colorado, Jewish. Everyone's Jewish. They're a very small amount of the population. If you're a Christian, you grow up in the Christian community, you might never ever meet Jewish people that you know of. But like suddenly, when you turn on the TV, everyone's in charge, and it's because they're hacking your brains and they're controlling your brains. And I'm committing conspiracy to overthrow the government by trying to stop the government from being overthrown, so that we can actually stop the people that have overthrown the government. And I just want to be clear about that. Like, anybody that really fucking thinks that I've committed conspiracy to overthrow the government by trying to be for the Constitution, I just really, really think you should understand, like, you are a fucking asshole. You are fucking anti-America. And guess what? I'm anti-America too. I'm against like everything that America is now. I'm gonna go live in another country, and I'm gonna go be pro whatever that fucking country is. Actually, I'm gonna go be pro Italy. I already decided. Like, Italy has like a killer economy. Italy has so much farmland. They have so much shipping. They're part of like the fucking Western Europe like powerhouse. It's like Germany, Italy, France. They have good relations with everyone. They're on the Mediterranean. It's the most beautiful country. It's like a place where like people will call themselves, we're the Italians of the Middle East. If there's anything a person can say that's a really nice person that loves tourists, is I'm an Italian. That's what an Egyptian would say. So do I want to go live somewhere where the Italians, not the Italians of the Middle East live, but where the actual Italians live? Of course I want to go live where those people live. Like in the United States, like everyone's afraid of each other because we traffic too much. At least where I live. Like everywhere I live, it's like scary drug trafficking. So like I am done living somewhere where I know the police are dirty. And like I am done living somewhere where the police can live here. There's a police officer that lives in my neighborhood. My neighborhood, like all the houses are over $500,000. Super rich cop, apparently. They live. I walk past a cop car like every day. Well, when I leave my house, I don't leave my house anymore, because my understanding is that like the amount of people trying to kill me, it got to that point that like I had to stop leaving my house. So like I like never leave my house anymore. But no one cares about that. I deserve it. I chose for people to keep putting drugs in my fucking car. I chose to grow up on Carr Street, where the cars go out. I didn't even realize. Is that where I picked up? Carr Street? I don't even know. I didn't know I picked up on Carr Street. Did I know I picked up on Carr Street? Never once crossed my mind. Honestly. I knew I picked up in Palm Tree Circle. I thought. It never crossed my mind I picked up on Carr Street. I knew that I had picked up huge, though, in Bakersfield. And that was, like, after I think you guys busted me in Bakersfield. I don't know. Like, I met someone from Bakersfield the other day. You know what I think about that guy? I don't think being from Bakersfield means you run drugs. I think that, like, drug route tends to go to Santa Barbara. And that's why it's so confusing, because everyone knows Santa Barbara's got the lab. Because Santa Barbara used to move to Bakersfield all the time. And then, like, it's so confusing when the lab is moving to the lab. That's like, they'll never get it. They always think it's a chemist. It's one. Yeah. That's because you're stupid. Like, you guys are that stupid. Like, why can't we catch them? There are too many labs. Yeah. But we just need to find one. Well, you're obsessed with the guy who makes the sheets. You can go talk to the freaking high school dropout about his chemistry skills. Really? Really, he does have access to the technology. You should go question him about how to make LSD. Yeah, good luck with that. You guys are that fucking stupid. Like, really, like, you guys are obsessed with fucking high school dropouts. Like, really. I mean, really, like Like, I mean, I'm sure that that's a very impressive chemist, and that's a chemist that you should care about because they put out that much meth. But I think the reality is like, that's a fucking low level chemist, and your entire existence is your obsession with this low level chemist. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about the chemist until recently. You can feel a chemist though. Sometimes like when a chemist is like letting everyone know this guy's cool, like you know the chemist is like that's one of those like you tell me who that chemist is, and it's like, of course, like I freaking like basically walked around like holding hands with the guy all around town and let everyone know I'm cool. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, the best way for a chemist to let everyone know that a person's cool is by like just walking with them. And sometimes it's just like if you let everyone know that someone's cool, you're letting them know you should never even talk to that guy. And that's the real situation. Is like, in my opinion, is like you need to let people know so that you let them know, don't talk about it. And that's the real reason I was like, I think I was told about like Parks and Rec. Actually, Parks and Rec was a long time ago. I don't know. I think they have too many people hacking my brain, and I'm too in, and like everyone decided like I'm like a great person to confide in, and like I don't even know you're confiding in me in my brain because I think you're just telling me stuff, but like. I don't know. Alright, this is a very long video. I'm out of here.